The sun was shining through the big window in their living room. Nneoma sat in front of her mirror, brushing her long black hair. She smiled as she looked at her reflection. Her phone buzzed beside her with hundreds of new likes and comments. People loved her style. She knew what to wear and how to wear it. Her fans called her Queen of Fashion. In the kitchen, Emeka was making something new. The sweet smell filled the house. He held his phone with one hand and stirred the pot with the other. "What's up, guys?" he said to the camera. "Today, I'm trying a new jollof rice recipe with a secret twist." His followers loved his energy. They always said he made cooking fun. Together, Nneoma and Emeka were the perfect team. Their videos were always full of laughter and love. People watched them from all over the world. Everyone wanted a relationship like theirs. After posting their new video, they sat on the couch, reading comments and replying to fans. "Babe, they love the food and your dress," Emeka said, smiling. "I know," Nneoma laughed. "Maybe tomorrow we do something fun. Like a fashion and food challenge." "I love it," Emeka said. "Let's make it big." They clinked glasses of Zobo and laughed again. But far away, someone was watching them from a dark room. The person's eyes were cold. On the screen was a photo of Nneoma and Emeka smiling. The person zoomed in slowly and whispered, "Soon." Back in their home, Nneoma felt a sudden chill. She looked around. Everything seemed normal, but her heart beat a little faster. "Are you okay?" Emeka asked. She nodded slowly. "Yeah, I just felt weird. Like someone was watching me." Emeka stood and looked out the window. Nothing was there. "Maybe you need rest." She smiled. "Maybe. Or maybe it's time for a new adventure." And just like that, their perfect life was about to change. The next day, Nneoma and Emeka were not alone. Their best friends, Ada and Chidi, arrived with wide smiles and warm hugs. Ada wore a bright yellow jumpsuit that made her skin glow. Her makeup was perfect as always. She carried her camera bag and ring light. "I have a new lipstick line to review," she said excitedly. Chidi followed, tall and calm, with his camera hanging around his neck. "I just came back from Cross River," he said. "Wait till you see the waterfall shots I took." "Wow!" Nneoma gasped. "You always find the most beautiful places." "That's because Nigeria is beautiful," Chidi said. "You just need to look deeper." Emeka welcomed them with spicy suya he had grilled himself. "Let's make it a full house collab today," he said. "Food, fashion, makeup, and magic." The four friends laughed and set up their equipment. Lights were turned on, cameras placed carefully, and phones mounted for behind-the-scenes clips. Ada sat in front of the ring light, showing her followers how to use the new lip gloss. Her voice was calm, her hands steady. "This color pops on dark skin," she said. Nneoma helped by picking the right background. "Use that soft pink curtain," she said. "It makes your face glow." Meanwhile, Chidi snapped photos of Emeka plating his special coconut rice. "Add that sprinkle of green onions," he suggested. "It adds color and life." Everything was perfect. Their followers were going crazy in the comments. Hearts, fire emojis, and "God when" filled their screens. But behind the fun, something strange was happening. Chidi's camera blinked twice, then froze. He tapped it. "That's odd," he mumbled. Ada's phone rang, but when she picked up, no one answered. Just a low, crackling sound. Nneoma and Emeka shared a quick look. "Do you guys feel that?" Nneoma asked. "Like something's off?" No one answered at first. Then Emeka said softly, "Let's just keep working. Maybe it's nothing." But it wasn't nothing. And whatever it was, it had just started. That evening, the four friends sat around a table in Emeka and Nneoma's cozy dining room. Cups of hot chin-chin and steaming meat pie filled the air with warm, comforting smells. Laughter echoed through the house. "I think it's time we do something bigger," Ada said, brushing her braids back. "Something fresh." "I was thinking the same thing," Nneoma nodded. "What if we start a joint YouTube channel?" Everyone paused. Then Emeka's eyes lit up. A channel for the four of us. Yes, Ada said excitedly. Fashion, food, beauty, photography, travel. All in one place. It could be like a digital tour of Nigerian lifestyle, Chidi added, tapping the table. Real people, real fun, real culture. They all smiled. Within minutes, they were scribbling ideas on a notepad. Vibes Naija was the name they chose. Felt young, fun, and bold. The next few days were filled with planning. Nneoma and Ada worked like lightning, coming up with ideas for fashion and makeup challenges. Emeka wrote down new recipes and food hacks. Chidi sketched ideas for video angles and perfect lighting. They filmed at markets, beaches, city streets, and traditional festivals. They interviewed local artists and cooks. They wore agbadas and ankras, danced to Afrobeat, and laughed in every shot. Their chemistry was magic. Their first video went live on a Friday evening. It was titled, "This is Nigeria Through Our Eyes." Within an hour, the views started rolling in. Thousands of people were watching. Comments poured in. "This is gold. I love you guys. More, please." They were happy. They felt unstoppable. But behind the success, something strange was building. Late at night, as Nneoma was editing their second video, her laptop glitched. The screen flickered and a message flashed for only 1 second. "You think you're safe." She blinked. It was gone. She stared at the screen, heart racing. Maybe it was a virus. Or maybe it was something else. She didn't tell the others. Not yet. Days turned into weeks. And the Vibes Naija YouTube channel exploded across the internet. Every video they posted went viral. From Nneoma and Ada's fashion battles to Emeka's crazy food challenges and Chidi's behind-the-scenes magic. It was all gold. People loved watching four friends chase their dreams and share joy. One video, where they danced with market women while cooking palm oil stew, hit 1 million views in just 2 days. Another, where Chidi captured Ada doing her makeup in the middle of a busy Lagos street, made it to the news. Soon their inboxes were full. Top brands wanted them. Big fashion labels, beauty companies, food chains, even airlines. One morning, Nneoma opened an email and gasped. "Babe, come and see," she called Emeka. He rushed in, holding a fork in his hand. "What is it?" "They want us in Ghana. A travel agency is flying us out for a cultural food and fashion tour." "Are you serious?" Emeka shouted. Ada and Chidi danced when they heard the news. "We're going international, baby." Ada laughed, twirling. Billboards started going up with their faces. People recognized them at airports and restaurants. Children waved at them on the street. Everyone wanted to be like the Vibes Naija crew. But as their fame grew, so did the shadow following them. One evening, after a long day of filming, Emeka opened his Instagram and found something strange. A new account had tagged them in a post. The account had no name, no followers, and no pictures, except one. It was a dark photo of the four of them at a beach. But they hadn't posted it. The caption read, "You can't hide from the truth." Emeka showed Nneoma, and she felt a chill run down her spine. "Who took this?" "I don't know," he said. "But this picture, it was from last week. We were alone that day." They looked at each other, their hearts heavy. Everything seemed perfect on the outside. But someone was watching. The Vibes Naija team had become more than just content creators. They were now symbols of hope and pride for millions. Their videos inspired children to learn their native languages. Teenagers proudly wore traditional clothes again. Markets they visited became popular tourist spots. Young people across Africa were starting channels of their own, saying, "If they can do it, I can too." They were invited to schools, festivals, and even government events. They spoke about creativity, teamwork, and staying true to your roots. People clapped and cheered for them. Everywhere they went, someone shouted, "Vibes Naija for life." Even though the fame was huge, they stayed grounded. Nneoma still picked her fabrics from the same tailor in Surulere. Emeka still bought spices from Mama Uduak in the market. Ada always reminded her followers that beauty is more than makeup. Chidi kept finding hidden corners of Nigeria to show the world. One afternoon years later, the four of them sat in their studio. The walls were filled with memories, photos, awards, fan letters, and frames of their first video ever. "I still remember our first shoot," Nneoma said softly, smiling. "The suya was too peppery." Emeka laughed. "We didn't even have a real mic," Ada added. "I used my phone's earphones." Chidi nodded. "But we had fire in our hearts." They all sat quietly for a moment. "We did something special," Nneoma whispered. They had built something lasting. Not just videos, but a brand, a legacy, a movement. A reminder to love where you come from and share it with pride. But just as Chidi stood up to get water, his phone buzzed on the table. A message popped up. No name, no number. Just one line. "You forgot what you left behind." He froze. Ada walked over and read it too. "Who's that from?" she asked. I don't know." Outside, a black car sat across the street. The engine was off. The windows were dark. And inside, someone was watching again. The message stayed on Chidi's screen, glowing softly. "You forgot what you left behind." He stared at it for a long time. Then he slowly turned the phone face down. Ada looked at him, worried. "Should we be scared?" "No," Chidi said, his voice steady. "We've come too far to be afraid now." Emeka and Nneoma joined them, their smiles fading as they noticed the tension. Chidi explained the message. Emeka frowned. "Whoever this is, they've been watching us for a long time." Nneoma took a deep breath. "Then let's find out who they are. Together." Ada nodded. "We started this journey as a team. We're finishing it the same way." The four of them went back to their table. They opened their laptops, checked old messages, searched old video clips, and dug deep into forgotten folders. Hours passed. The sun set. The street outside grew quiet. Finally, Chidi found something strange. An old video draft they had never posted. It showed a short moment during their first beach shoot. In the corner of the screen, barely visible, was a figure hiding behind a tree. None of them had noticed before. "Is that a fan?" Ada whispered. "Or someone we knew?" Emeka asked. The video glitched for a second, then froze. They never found out who the person was. And the strange messages stopped after that night. After that strange night, things slowly returned to normal, on the surface. Their channel kept growing. More deals came. More fans followed. But something inside each of them had shifted. They laughed on camera, but off camera they started watching their backs. Chidi became more quiet. He stayed up late, reviewing their old footage again and again. He didn't tell the others, but he had saved the beach video separately on a hard drive. Every time he watched it, the figure behind the tree seemed clearer, like it was stepping closer. Nneoma started having dreams. In one, she was standing on stage, accepting an award. But when she looked into the crowd, all the faces were blank. In another dream, a voice whispered, "Go back. Finish what you started." She would wake up in a sweat, heart racing. One day, Ada received a brown envelope at the front desk of their studio. There was no name, no return address. Just a photo inside. It was a picture of the four of them from years ago, before Vibes Naija, before the fame. They were in a small town. During a road trip they had almost forgotten. They had helped a woman whose car broke down. She had tears in her eyes as they left. "God will reward you," she'd said. On the back of the photo, someone had written in red ink, "You left something behind." Ada showed the others. Emeka sat down slowly. "We forgot that town," he whispered. "We said we'd go back. But we never did." They all remembered it now, Abudu. A small, dusty town with kind people and quiet roads. They had promised to return and help set up a photography school for the children. But life got busy and they never kept that promise. "It's time," Nneoma said. So they packed their bags. No cameras. No sponsors. Just the four of them and a map. When they arrived in Abudu, it was like stepping back in time. Nothing had changed. The children still played in the fields. The old woman they had helped was gone, but her granddaughter greeted them with a wide smile. "We knew you'd come back," she said. The friends stayed for days. They taught classes, donated equipment, helped build a creative center. The children laughed, painted, filmed, danced, and believed. One evening, as they stood under a mango tree watching the sunset, Chidi finally smiled again. "I think this was what the message meant all along," he said. "Not someone trying to hurt us, but someone reminding us who we were," Ada added softly. Nneoma nodded. "And what we were meant to do." They had chased the light of fame. But now they had found something brighter, purpose. And this time they wouldn't forget. The days in Abudu were the most peaceful they had known in a long time. No flashing cameras, no deadlines, just honest smiles, village laughter, and the joy of giving. The children adored them. Little Ijeoma ran to hug Nneoma every morning, calling her Auntie Fine Dress. Chukwu, a shy boy with big dreams, followed Chidi around, holding his old camera like treasure. Emeka cooked with the locals, learning new spices. He laughed like a child when they made jollof rice over firewood. Ada sat with the girls under a mango tree, teaching them how to feel beautiful just the way they were. One night, after a small community celebration, they sat under the stars. The sky was full of quiet. "I didn't know I needed this," Ada whispered. "Me too," Emeka said. "I thought happiness was views and likes. But this feels deeper." Chidi nodded. "We were chasing the world. But the world was waiting for us to come home." They smiled. Nneoma looked at them and said softly, "Maybe the fame wasn't the goal. Maybe it was the road that brought us to our real purpose." They understood now why the message came, why the figure appeared. It wasn't a warning. It was a call, a whisper from their own hearts, asking them to remember where they started and why. They stayed in Abudu long enough to complete the creative center. Before they left, the children painted a big mural on the wall. It showed Nneoma in her colorful dress, Emeka holding a pot of stew, Ada with a makeup brush, Chidi with his camera. But above them all, the children wrote in big, joyful letters, "Thank you for seeing us." As the car drove them back to the city, the four friends held hands. They had shared fame, joy, fear, confusion, and now something unbreakable. Love for each other. Love for where they came from. Love for the people who believed in them. And love for the journey itself. They smiled quietly, because they knew this wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something even greater. Something beautiful. Something true. And something worth remembering forever. But something had changed in them. They realized their journey wasn't just about videos or fame. It was about the people they touched, the lives they changed, and the power of their own friendship. Years later, when they looked back, they didn't just smile because of the awards or the views. They smiled because they stayed true to their dreams, and to each other. And even though the shadows came and left, they kept shining. Because light, when shared with love, never goes out. Not even in the darkest corners. This is where we come to the end of the story. If you enjoy this story and watch to the end, please do not make it your last time on my channel. Subscribe, like, drop your thoughts on the comment section, and share my videos to your loved ones. See you all on my next story. Bye.